Ladies and gentlemen, you saw him last night in a suit. First ever. Turn around the other way. And then pull it down. Pull this down right here. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Perfect.
And how shocked were you at number 6?
Yeah, just the way everything kind of broke down. It was like once the Twins came out from 14, then they announced that they were 1 through 6. You knew from 1, 2, or 3, somebody was going to get pushed down. And then they had like a little a recess after 7, and I was just hoping that our name wasn't called. Had a big smile on my face, and sure enough, after I heard that first syllable, I got deflated. I mean, I was downstairs in the lobby afterwards. I think I had the Jordan crying meme or Jordan crying meme after falling to 6.
Oh man, I mean, it's just it is what it is. I mean, it's just, you want to get number 1. You've had a bad year. You've lost 102 games, and you're hoping for that pick. And it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, honestly, it is what it is. I mean, I like that things were collectively bargained, just the way it's been going down the last decade or so. I like the aspect that we're all trying to win. We're all trying to be competitive. And so the result of that, if we're going to have a draft lottery, it's going to create more exposure in the game, excitement. Even though the ball didn't bounce our way, it was still, there's a little bit of a buzz in the lobby, not the metropolitan buzz, but it was still kind of cool just to see the dominoes fall last night.
I was hoping we were talking about, you remember when we were kids, Patrick Ewing coming out of Georgetown, and the whole conspiracy was when the executive for the Knicks was able to go through all the envelopes, he searched for the frozen one, and that was the one that would pull out, say, Knicks and Patrick Ewing. I was hoping there would be some ping pong balls or something involved where you got to go on stage.
Yeah, I definitely was hoping. I mean, no pun intended, that wasn't going to be Sam Bowie, but I mean, you go back to the next draft. I mean, hopefully it's that point where, you got Hakeem Olajuwon. People forget Hakeem actually went 1 in that draft, and then Bowie went 2, and then Michael Jordan went 3, and it was a star-studded draft. They Sir Charles Barkley's in that draft, and if you go through the list, there's like a bunch of Hall of Famers. So, maybe we have that fortune this year in 2023.
6 is still pretty high, and as you mentioned, if you end up with Charles Barkley, you're pretty good, right? I mean, so there's still a lot of value. We know as you get late, even the draft is so unpredictable. If you look at the numbers long term, like all these years you go through the draft, it's so hard to predict. But you do know, in the top 10, you can get a really good player.
No, you're definitely going to get a good player. I mean, I think I saw recently actually that first overall pick for various reasons, but Chipper Jones and Ken Griffey Jr., they might be one of only the 2 1-1 overalls that went to the Hall of Fame. I mean, Hall of Fame is obviously very difficult, but that just tells you that in the top 10, you're going to have a strong opportunity. But just the way the draft goes down, it's kind of a sliding scale with the capital and what you get for an overall pool standpoint. So having a higher number is pretty valuable just from the capital aspect.
Looking at what we have coming up, I know you get excited about a lot of our players. I mean, we had Clark and Butler, who are 2 athletes that everybody's raving about from the Arizona Fall League. Soderstrom is an elite bat. He is a kid he's a prodigy. We remember his dad, Steve, who was such a terrific player at Fresno State and ended up making the big leagues with the San Francisco Giants. We've been talking a lot about Geloff for years. We saw him down in playing against the San Jose Giants when Stockton was in town. He was playing third base. Now he's playing second base. The bat is going to play. I mean, you start talking about these names. How excited are you about these names that are going to be coming to Oakland?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm the eternal optimist, and I normally get proven correct. Obviously, they don't go back on that. I remember saying Matt Olson, in A-ball had the best glove, in baseball at the time at first base, and people chuckled, and I got killed online, but I got proven correct, and a lot of stuff. I mean, afterwards. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting time, and we go in waves here in Oakland. I've been here 25 years. I believe we made the playoffs 11 or 12 years. We normally go through cycles. I mean, we made the playoffs, 2001, 2, and 3, had a little lull, made it in 6, made the playoffs again 12, 13, and 14, little lull, made the playoffs again 17, 18, 18, 19, and 20. So we normally build it up, have a great product on the field, exciting, see young players kind of break in, do their thing, and then later on we change it out a little bit. But, yeah, it's coming up. You got Geloff. He's a stud. Soderstrom can swing that bat. I'm kind of giving him a Carlos Delgado comp. He can catch, but the bat is elite. Denzel Clark.
Wait, whoa. Carlos Delgado.
Yeah, no, I mean, Carlos Delgado actually came up as a catcher, and Soderstrom can catch, but Carlos's bat was so elite that at some point he took off the gear and just started raking and produced. So now he can definitely catch. He's got a good arm. He's athletic, but the bat is special. I mean, the bat, it's line to line. He made a few adjustments second half last year. You saw it in Double-A, finished the year in Triple-A. Geloff hit 5 homers last year down the stretch in Triple-A. Phenomenal athlete, unbelievable, great makeup. Waldenchuk, you got a glimpse of him last year at the Coliseum. Swing miss stuff. Sears, tough kid out of Citadel. I mean, the next wave is going to be here. The 2021 draft, Brett Harris, kid 7th rounder out of Gonzaga. Last year, between high A and Double A, hit 290 with 17 home runs. Good walk-to-strikeout ratio. Solid defender at third base. Good at second. Kind of give him a Brandon Drury comp. He's a little bit off the radar. Mason Miller was the highest-rated pitching prospect in the Arizona Fall League. Kid that came out of Gardner-Webb. Juvenile type 1 diabetes. Got stronger later in his amateur career, averaging 100 miles an hour in the Arizona Fall League with legitimate secondary pitches at 6'5". So now the train's coming downhill. I believe that next year, 2023, the second half, you'll see the numbers really start to matriculate to the 510, and starting in 2024, we'll be competitive again, and we'll have another good run.
When you start looking at velocity, when was it? All your time being out there scouting, I mean, no one logs more miles and more hotel rooms than you. When did you start thinking, oh, my God, all these guys are throwing 100. All these guys are throwing 98. I mean, it used to be you were like a unicorn when you did that. Now you see it on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I remember, I played in the minor leagues from 92 to 98. I faced Roberto Hernandez. He was a White Sox closer in the mid-90s, and he was an anomaly. He threw 100 miles an hour back then, but not like anything else. I mean, kids get bigger, faster, stronger. Their training acumen's better, and the velocity's higher. The physical attributes of these guys are phenomenal. It's only getting better. I mean, baseball's a history game, and I can recite the history as well as anybody. But these kids getting bigger, faster, stronger across all sports, just like the television in your front room. You don't have the same TV that you had 20 years ago. The TV's better now. So, I mean, it's just technology, man. I mean, these guys 20 years from now, they're going to be better than they are now. So just the way it is. But don't discount it. These kids have talent.
Well, yeah, and don't be too shocked, because look how different the winter meetings are from 20 years ago. Look how big the difference the winter meetings are from when you first started.
Yeah, no, I mean, the technology, the media aspect, seeing the numbers. I mean, it's just percentage. I mean, I'm sure it's not official, the kid out of Linden, but if you're that big of a star in a nation's in New York City, and you hit 62 balls, I mean, home runs over the fence, and after Ohtani, you're probably the most marketable person in Major League Baseball. Those are the numbers.
Ohtani is so interesting what the Angels are going to do with him. I know there's only so much you can say, but when you have a player that's a two-way player, but, and I do say but, and I'm like the, and I,
what's the but? There?
Yes, there you go. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
every single time I talk about this, people go, Townsend, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
He can only pitch in a 6-man rotation. There's not a lot of teams can't put 5 starters. He's in a 6-man rotation. He only DHs. If he ever gets hurt, well, if he takes up 2 spots, you can only replace him with 1 guy on the roster. So you start to, I know he's great, but is his greatness really, if he's great for like a team that has unbelievable depth, if you're a team that doesn't have unbelievable depth, there seems to be, I mean, because the Angels have a hard time finding starting pitching. So having a 6-man rotation has not worked for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's not an indictment on Shohei. I mean, he's down there. He's top 5 on the mound. He's top 5 at the plate. He's actually probably top 5, if not higher, fastest guys in the league. I think he led the league in triples, or amongst the league leaders 2 years ago, along with the 40 home runs, along with being top 2 or 3 in strikeouts in the whole league. So now, and from a face of the franchise, I mean, if he was born in the United States, he'd probably be the first pick of the draft. As a quarterback, he might be a point guard that, you know, playing NBA right now, averaging 25 points a game. The kid, he's a unicorn. He's a unique athlete. He's worldwide known.
How do you get more volume out of it?
Yeah, I mean, they got plenty of volume. I mean, nobody goes through. I remember the White Sox when they won the World Series. Kenny Williams, one of my mentors out there, phenomenal executive in person. When they won the World Series, their health, their starting rotation, people stayed healthy throughout the year. But then you flip it over 5 years later, the Phillies actually had a rotation, would have 6 All-Stars, you know, going into the season, and they had rotation issues within the first 2 weeks. So you always got to plan. There's power in numbers. You got to have depth. I mean, baseball comes down to most talent on the field, who's got depth, and guys in their prime years. If you have that combination, you have a really strong chance to win.
Speaking of Kenny Williams, the product of the East Bay and Oakland and former Stanford great, your guys is Pac-12. What's happening when you, because of course, if you don't know, Billy O is a former 2-way star at the University of Arizona, both football and baseball. What is going on? Well, you were Pac-10. What's going on with your Pac-12?
Yeah, I mean, just like, you know, the winter meetings or anything else. I mean, if you look at the numbers, I mean, the college football playoff is 4 this year. It's going to be 12 pretty soon. I mean, the numbers are astronomical on television, on the field and off the field, and it's only getting better. So, yeah, I mean, I saw where SC, they still might go to the East Coast. What conference are they going to be in?
Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know demographic-wise. I mean, I'm trying to imagine the water polo game on Tuesday. I mean, how they're going to travel all the way to Michigan just for that and come back. So, but as far as the football on Saturday, I mean, they can play the big game in Columbus. They can play it in Ann Arbor, and they can play it in Los Angeles as well.
I mean, are you looking forward to that big rivalry of UCLA Maryland or USC Rutgers?
Yeah, I mean, USC Rutgers. There you go. I mean, I can't think of the twins that play for the Patriots. I know they were Rutgers guys. One guy's on TV right now. The other kid's still a good defensive back for Bill Belichick's defense. And USC, Lincoln Riley out there, phenomenal year. They're going to finish in the top 10. UCLA had a good year. That was a great game, 48-45 between the Trojans and the Bruins out there at the Rose Bowl. Oregon's always got a formidable squad. Bear down, Arizona.
Hey, what happened to Bear down?
Yeah, Jed Fish. We beat the Sun Devils this year, and we're surging ahead. And I like the ASU hire. Kids out of Chaparral High School. He's the youngest coach in Division I, 32 years old. I watched his press conference, and he brought a ton of energy. So the Pac-12, and we're back. I mean, we're going to challenge the SEC at some point.
All right, let's end on this. We're heading to the holidays. We're heading to Christmas. We know you're one of the busiest workers in the game. Billy Beane has always talked about how much you travel and how much you do. He's, you've been one of his right-hand guys for so long. What do you do from like here to spring training?
I mean, there's always something to do. I mean, whether you can go to Latin America anytime, whether they're playing winter ball, 16-year-old kid getting signed in one of those countries in Latin America. So you got plenty of options that way. You got preparation before the draft, doing follow lists. doing winter or fall baseball out there. There's somebody always playing. I got a football crew. I normally get my fantasy team rocking and rolling on Sunday, so do a little bit of that. Eat a lot of turkey. I'm more of a pumpkin pie guy over sweet potato. But yeah, you mix in sports, you mix in football, you mix in baseball, basketball, travel a little bit, have a lot of fun. I mean, I'm blessed, 51 years old, been in this game my whole life. It's like almost, if it's a passion, it's almost like you've never worked a day in your whole life.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is the guy that made sure we got Yoenis Cespedes. You got another Yoenis Cespedes in your back pocket?
I'm not sure I could fit Yoenis Cespedes in my back pocket, but yeah, there's always. I mean, the game's global. I mean, you saw the WBC's coming up. That's exciting. You're going to see following the World Cup too, where you're seeing the flags waving, the music, the food, the energy, and we're going to back that up this year with the WBC. Have the first full spring training that we've had in the last 3 years, and we're going to follow with another 162 game cage match out there across the United States, and stretch out a little bit globally too. I think we got London coming up, Mexico still might venture into Asia. I mean, hey, we're blessed out here in sports for a living, watching that competition, seeing these guys get better, seeing the money flow on all sorts, the passion of the fans, the energy. It couldn't be better. Just blessed to be here and trying to make it happen.
That's the great Billy Owens, Assistant General Manager of your Oakland Athletics.